Good morning. Welcome back to the corner. My name is Lee. I am a crafter in Pittsburgh, PA, and this is where we sit and chat about what I've been up to. It has been a couple of weeks maybe. I have pretty much mentally switched completely over to podcasting every 2 weeks now. I don't remember when I filmed last, but today is Wednesday, the 7th of June, 2023. And I have a few things to talk to you about today. I guess I should specify. My knitting? What? This podcast is about the specific crafts of knitting primarily, but also some crochet, some cross stitch, and some sewing. I have cross stitch and sewing content for us today, as well as acquisitions, an update on my summer sock camp progress, and some cast on plans. So that's pretty exciting. So yes, like I said, it's been a couple of weeks. I can't remember exactly how long it's been, but I think it's safe to say you can expect a podcast from me every 2 weeks. Also, I got a haircut. It's all gone. It was so long before, and now it's so much better. I love the feeling of not having all the weight on my head and also not always laying or sitting on my hair. It was just always in the way. And I am so happy to have it gone. We have some FOs today. What were my... I've been really bad about updating my project pages as well. So sorry about that. I just have not been able to talk myself into doing it, which it's fine. It's fine. I can only do what I can do. We all can only do what we can do. So let's see if I had those socks finished last episode. I did not. Okay, so the first FO is not physically here. I have left it at the yarn shop, but I finished my pair of socks for the custom colorway we're having done by Ex Libris Fibers for the summer sock knit along that we will be hosting at my local yarn shop in July. So I finished the sample for those, both socks done, but I washed them and took them there and then have left them as a sample. So if I can get a picture, I'll put it here. I'll be at the yarn shop tomorrow, so hopefully I will be able to take a picture then, and I'll put it here so you can see what my finished socks look like. Is that the only other finished object I have that's not here? I think so. That is also my only knitting FO. I started to mention it, but I didn't finish. My knitting mojo has been like off. I just have not had the energy to knit. It's not that I don't have the energy to knit, it's that I don't have the time to do all of the things I want to do. So I've been having to prioritize, and knitting right now just has been falling a little bit lower on the list of priorities. I've just been feeling the urge to do other things. One of those things is playing Tears of the Kingdom. I've been having a good time and I have no regrets. Brad and I are both playing it and we're having a great time. So that's been pretty high up, like number 1 on my priority list. And I also have been feeling the urge to stitch lately. So I started a new cross stitch. I dug in my little cross stitch bin and I have a couple of whips in there and neither of them seemed interesting. I always have Death by Cross Stitch out, but I wanted to start something new. So I started a new cross stitch. So getting a little bit ahead of myself, I've been feeling the urge to stitch too. So Tears of the Kingdom and cross stitch have come a little bit higher up on the priorities list than knitting. So not a ton of knitting, some knitting, don't get me wrong. It is summer sock camp. So all of the knitting I've been doing is pretty vanilla. And I have put all of my other knitting projects away to like formally take them out of my brain and no, I don't have to worry about them over the summer, because summer is socks only, unless I feel like I really want to work on something else. Then I can pull something out, but I'm not going to allow myself to feel the pressure to work on anything else over the summer, which is important. The only other FOs I have are sewing FOs. I decided that I bought quite a bit of like cute fabrics lately, either online or on my travels, because I bought some while I was in Chicago. and also have been gifted some secondhand from a friend, and it's just all been purchased or received with the intention of making project bags for myself out of them. And because I've been buying them and not making project bags, I decided I was just gonna like crank out a couple of project bags this last weekend, not this past one, but the one before. And so I did. I picked 2 combos and made 2 bags, and I didn't have like proper cord, like drawstring cord, so I made cords for them as well, which I have done before and you have seen on here, but normally I do like a medieval finger braiding thing. This time I wanted something a little bit more substantial, less fine, so I'll show you what I did. But these are my 2 finished project bags. They're so cute. Oh, this side looks better on this one for sure. This one looks the same on either side. But this is what they look like. They're 2 very simple drawstring pouches, which I have done before, but elevated. I wanted to come up with my like perfect drawstring bag, and I think I'm pretty close here. I've been really itching to put projects in these, but I'm also trying to not start any new socks until I finish some, so these are on hold. But they are like sock sized. They're not tiny little sock size. Like this is a normal, oh gosh. This is one of my normal sock project bags that I really love, like a Woodsy and Wild one. And this is the size it is open, and this is the size of mine. So they're very comparable in size, because I love this size. And as you can see, I gave mine a boxed bottom, elevated from the last ones I've done, and they are aligned. I'll show you the lining up close and the fabric up close in a second. Whew. And I was planning on just cranking these, oh gosh, I sneezed. And I was planning on just cranking these out over like in a day over the weekend. And then I started having issues with my sewing machine. I think it needs a little bit of a tune-up. It needs like oiled and cleaned and all of that kind of stuff. So I was having some issues with the sewing machine. So I ended up just finishing these by hand. And it didn't take very long at all. So I got all of the parts assembled, and was that it? I got all the parts assembled, like the lining assembled to itself, the outside assembled to itself on the machine. And so then all I had to do was box the bottom, attach the lining and the outside fabric, and then do the drawstring channel by hand. So it didn't take very long. Now these bags are, this one is a fabric combo that I got from my friend. We went to her house to knit, and she allowed us to go through her fat quarters and was like, hey, take some fat quarters. I have too many. And so I took this pair of fat quarters. I took this one and the lining one as well. The lining one is not like just a uniform stripe. It's got all these fun pink and orange stripes in it that I think is really cute. And I thought it was a really fun combo with this like tropical arts and crafts vibe fabric on the outside. I love the big scale of this floral. Yeah, I thought they were really cute together. So that's where this fabric came from. And now it's out of stash. Also, using fat quarters for these size bags uses up most of the fabric, which is great. I did just a running stitch channel, and then the cord for this one is, what I did for both of the cords is I just made an actual like standard braid. I almost said a standard plait, but that also works. That is the same thing. So just a 3-strand braid, and I used Lily Sugar and Cream Cotton. This was in the color, it's like a tan color. I don't physically have it anywhere. So that's my first bag I finished. And then the second bag I finished, I still have like 8. That's not true. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. sets of fabric to make more of these. So I will have quite a collection. I really love this size and just a simple drawstring. So I'm a big fan of how these came out. The second one is fabric I got in Chicago when I was visiting my friend and going to C2E2. This is a combo of the outside fabric is a Liberty of London. I don't know the name of this pattern, but look at it. It's so beautiful. The blue, red, and taupe is just a dreamy combination. I love it so much. And the lining is a taupe canvas. So the Liberty fabric, if you've never worked with it, is very, very, very thin. It's very light and delicate. So using the canvas lining definitely gives me some more structure, which is great. And as you could see on the lining fabric, I used like a red linen thread to do the visible stitching. It is a hand stitching thread, linen thread I have that it comes unwaxed, so I had to wax the thread and then use it. And then I did the same standard plait for the cable or drawstring cord of this one, but I used white, like an off-white color instead of the brown. So that is that second bag. And those are my only finished objects, the socks in these 2 bags. All right, whips, I guess. All of my whips today are socks. All of my knitting whips today are socks. And I have 4 to show you. First one is the most boring, and it is in the octopus bag I just held up for you a second ago. This is a bag from Woodsy and Wild. And you have seen these before if you have been here before, but these are Brad's octopus socks. And I'm not gonna spend very much time on these because I've only done like 10 rounds. But I touched them, so they count and they're in here today. This is a pair of socks for my husband Brad. I'm doing 68 stitches, a fish lips kiss heel, a 3x1 broken rib, and I am using yarn from LaRue Cotton in the color Octopus. It is the vegan sock base, which is a bamboo cotton elastic blend. I also have this really pretty progress keeper on here from my friend Rochelle of Sassafras Knits. And that's all I have to say about that. Next whip. I have this one in a seasonally inappropriate bag, but it still brings me a lot of joy. This is in a Mountain State Stitches Christmas bag that I got last year. It's got trees on it and this really fun striped canvas at the bottom. Super cute. It's got a red snowflake lining. And in here I have well, one of these socks is actually finished. I just finished this sock. But I have a pair of socks for my brother. This is the Bond Weave sock pattern. It is one of my patterns. It is one of my favorites. I love doing this pattern as a not quite vanilla, but still mindless pattern. I plan on knitting probably several more of them over summer sock camp. But I thought this would be a great option for my brother. I normally knit his socks the same size as Brad's, so I do 68 stitches. But since I wanted to use my Bond Weave pattern and not really think about it, I did the 64 stitch size, but I used a size 1 needle, which gave me a looser gauge, gave me some extra width. But the yarn I'm using is Malabrigo Ultimate Sock, which is the one with nylon in it. In the color, I can tell you actually, I have the tag here. Malabrigo Ultimate Sock in the color 33 Cereza. I'm really enjoying this. I decided to do the Bond Weave pattern for this because I was actually really nervous that just the solid red color would bore me. I thought I would get really bored knitting this, but this yarn is a pleasure to knit with. It's not solid, you know, red. It is tonal, but it's also really plump and just a pleasure to knit with. It just feels really nice to knit with it. Like even on my size 1 needles, I'm still getting a fairly dense fabric, but I'm getting that extra width to fit my brother's foot. So I've finished a complete sock and I have not yet cast on the second sock. I want to have 2 pairs of socks finished for him by his birthday, which is in July. Yeah, I guess that's all I'll have to say about that. This is gonna make a great contrast color too. If I have any, I think I will, definitely. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have some yarn left over, so I'll be able to use this as a contrast color in some other socks as well, which will be great. I just love this texture. It looks a little bit waffly, but also like, I don't know. I just really like it. I love this cuff. My third whip is in another Woodsy and Wild project bag. This is a pink floral one. This is one of the first ones I bought from Woodsy and Wild years ago now. And in here, I have a pattern sock. That is not mine. This is the, oh my goodness. My hips have been bothering me today. I think I have been not stretching enough. What is the name of this? Is this the After Hours sock? Yes, the After Hours socks. This is a pattern by Lily Kate France of Lily Kate Makes fame. And these are a really fun eyelet textured sock that I am knitting in tandem. So I have both of them on the needles. They look kind of weird right now because they're not blocked and they really like shine when they're on the foot. And I don't have any good blockers handy either. But this is the one I've gotten farther on. I am past the heel of this one. And this is what it looks like. Let me try to stretch it out a little bit for you. I'm following the pattern almost exactly. I did make a little bit of a modification around the heel. One of the selling points about these sock patterns, she did 2 of them like as sister patterns kind of, is that she does increases before the short row heel so that it gives you some extra depth in the instep, and I just didn't increase quite as much because I find that I don't have trouble with short row heels fitting my instep. So anyways, I will tell you about those modifications more in a second. Let's get talking about this yarn and showing you what the texture looks like up close. But this is what the texture looks like. It's actually really beautiful, and it's on the front of the sock only. And this is the color of the yarn. You can really see it in the stockinette on the back of the sock. And this yarn is from Essence of Autumn, and it is called Pearl of Cortez. And it is the Prairie sock, which is an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon blend. But it's Pearl of Cortez. I love it. I think it's so pretty. So that's how far I got on the first sock, and I am only just here on the second sock, just through the cuff and into the leg. And I haven't actually picked these up in a few days, so I'm a little bit worried that when I go to pick it up, I might get a little bit confused because I did modify this one and didn't take notes. But I think what I did is you knit through the leg and then you increase for the heel without telling you too much information. You increase for the heel, do the heel, and then you decrease again back to your foot stitch count. And I only increased for the size small, even though I'm knitting the size medium. I only did the number of increases for the small and then the decreases to get back to my regular stitch count, instead of doing the full number of increases that she called for my size, just because I didn't think I needed that much room. And I did try these on. They do fit perfectly, so I think that was a good call for me. I think they probably would have been a bit big otherwise. This eyelet lace is definitely giving some extra room in here. And I'm also knitting these on a size 1, which also gives me a fatter sock. I probably could have gone down to a size 0 on these, but I don't know. I didn't. I guess I thought I would need it. I think these might have a smaller stitch count than a standard like 64 stitch sock. I think these might be like a 60 stitch sock, which is probably why I chose the size 1, because I didn't want them to be too small. But I think I probably would have been fine doing them on a size 0. They're still gonna fit. They're just plumpy and not a like sock on me. So that's those. I love this yarn. Like in this cuff, you can really see the like bits of green in here. They're not like super frequent or super obvious, but they're really nice. Beautiful. I love Essence of Autumn's yarn so so pretty. And a nice plumpy base, which I really love. I like working with a fat yarn way more than working with a little skinny sock yarn. So that's my third sock whip. My last sock whip has probably had the most work done on it, but it is in my LeighKnits project bag from Haley of LeighKnits. I have in here another pair of socks that I'm knitting in tandem. I would probably have been knitting all of my socks in tandem if I had enough needles, but I didn't have enough. And I have a good amount done on both socks. And I am using these, before I show you the sock themselves, I'll tell you about the yarn. The main color is Area 51 Fibers. The colorway is called I'm Seeing Rainbows on the Sturdy Alien base, which is a 80/20. And I'm using a contrast heel, cuff, and toe for these. The contrast color for the cuff and the toe is Ficolana Arveda Classic in the color 278, which is this like pale lilac color. And I might use this for the heel as well. I have not decided yet. I am doing an afterthought heel. So I'm doing the cuff and the toe, and then I will see how much yarn I have left because I didn't have a full ball of this. I'm gonna see if I have enough to do the heel as well. If not, the heel will be in a different contrast color. And this is what these are looking like. So far, I have knit, I'm doing this cuff down vanilla to really show off the colorway. So I've done the cuff and I am working my way through the tube, and I have this much left so far, and I'll finish it up and then do the toe and then figure out where to put my heel in so I can use up all of the yarn, because this was a 50-gram ball of self-striping yarn. And this is what this colorway looks like. Oh my gosh, I am so in love with it. If she ever releases this again, I'm buying another 100 grams of it, because I think that everyone in my life needs a pair of socks in this colorway. Look at it. I don't know the dyer's name behind Area 51, but if word of this gets back to her that she needs to dye more of this, then so be it. I hope she hears. So this is that. This is the first sock, and the second sock is this far. So I'm a little bit farther on one. They're also perfectly mismatched with the opposite, because you see there's two different rainbows. So I don't know how I managed to do that, but I did, which is great. I love it. I like my self-striping socks to be mismatched, but I like for it also to kind of look intentional. So I think this is like as good as it could have turned out. Yeah, I'm only a little bit farther with one than the other. And now that I'm getting close to the end, I want to use up as much yarn as I can, but I also don't want them to be different lengths. So I am going to be switching back and forth more frequently now, just to make sure that they end up the same length. Yeah, getting close to the end here. These are so good. So cute. And I'm knitting these on size 0 needles. So they're a more standard dense sock fabric for me. Because I go through phases. Sometimes size 0 is the appropriate size needle for me. Sometimes size 1 is. Right now, I've just been in a much looser state of things, I guess. So size 0 has been where it's at for me lately. And that's it for sock whips. Oh, the recipe for my vanilla sock is always down below. I am doing these in afterthought heel instead of a Fish Lips Kiss heel, but I'm just knitting from the cuff through all of the yarn, knitting the same toe that's in the description box below, and then I'll cut in a true afterthought using the counts, the row counts in the recipe down below. I do find I get a little bit of extra space in an afterthought heel. It's a little bit roomier so than a short row heel for me, so it all ends up being a really good fit. And that is that. Acquisitions, nope, that's not that. I have one more whip. It's just not a knitting whip. I have my new cross stitch to show you. I also have a new cross stitch setup that I would like to talk to you about, because it has been game changing for me. My cross stitch situation, knocked a box over. My cross stitch situation lately has been, or in the past, it has been like a project bag type situation where I will have all of the floss I need and my pattern and my fabric, like my actual cross stitch, all in a bag together, usually like a flat pouch type situation. But I got this Cocoknits board from my local yarn shop and realized this is ideal. Like it's from Cocoknits, so it's marketed towards knitters for holding their patterns and keeping their patterns organized and keeping track of all that kind of stuff. And I realized I tried using it for one knitting project and I didn't like it. I just didn't like it. I like having physical patterns for my knitting projects, but I just print them out and I just keep them in the bag like this. I am very low maintenance. I could not keep up with this because it wouldn't be in the bag. I'd just be leaving it around the house and then it wouldn't be handy and I'd have to look up things on my phone. It was just all a mess. You can see there's a magnet on the outside here. I'll tell you exactly why here in a second. But I have discovered that I absolutely adore this for cross stitch. So stitchers, listen up. Let me tell you how I use this thing. This is a board. If I open it up, it looks like this. Ooh. It is magnetic, without showing you too much of this pattern here. It comes with magnets here. Like it comes with all these magnets. It also, you can also get these two things. This is a needle gauge that also you can use to like keep track of the line you're on in your pattern, and also a small ruler that you can do the same. You can also keep track of where you are in your pattern with that. All of the Cocoknits like stitch markers and stuff, they stick to these magnets because they're all metal. And I also have metal scissors. Like this didn't come with it, but that's part of my cross stitch situation here. So how this works is it stands just like, kind of like how an iPad case does, you know? I have one here and like the ruler and this thing here to make sure it stands without flopping around or anything. And then I have my extra magnet stuck in here. This is now where this magnet is. And I have my cross stitch pattern up here. And if I want to like, well, this normally isn't here. So I can keep the bottom pinned down. I can move this guy around. And if I want to flip this to look at the next page, I can use this magnet on the back here to hold it so that I can just like flip the page rather than having to like move the pages around. And it has also, where is it? Oh no, I was just talking, oh, it's in the actual cross stitch here. But all of these magnets, you can't see that at all, work as a needle minder. So whenever you're cross stitching and you're between stitches and you want to set your needle down, the magnets are needle minders. They hold your needles. And with cross stitch, you always need scissors. So it keeps my scissors magnetized to it as well. I can use any of the magnets or the ruler itself or any of the things to hold my scissors. I keep them on the little ruler here just so that they're nice and handy. And I have my current whip in here, which is, I didn't print the cover page, but it's from the Witchy Stitcher, and it is the Poisonous Plants cross stitch. I also can just like keep my loose thread. I just kind of like keep it in here, like pin it under something, you know? But it's the Poisonous Plants cross stitch. And this is as far as I got. I am using Zweigart, I think. Zweigart Ida. It is 16 count Ida, which isn't my favorite. Normally I prefer 18 count, but this is working out. It's better than 14. I cannot use 14, it's too big. Normally I use linen, but I really wanted this color. So this is the color Charcoal Black, and it is a gorgeous deep charcoal color that is dark and almost black without being black. I have a really hard time stitching on black. It is just so hard to see. So I love this color, Charcoal Black. I'm working through this color. This is the only color I've worked on so far, and it's a lot. It's like the most prevalent color in the whole cross stitch, but that's fine. I'm really enjoying this. I'm working on it. It's just a bunch of poisonous plants from the Witchy Stitcher. Like I said, I'll try to link her Etsy shop down below. And when I am ready to set this away, I'm like balancing everything. I just kind of like set it in here and I stick it so that it doesn't go anywhere. And then I just fold it up. And this is my new favorite thing. So friends, stitchy friends, if you are interested in this situation, if you think it might be for you, check out your local yarn store because they might carry these Cocoknits things, and I highly recommend them. It's so nice. It's so good. Oh, I love it. Acquisitions, I guess. We'll start with, oh, also, I forgot to say, I'm also keeping just this little pouch. This one is a wax canvas bag from Paisley and Gold Sewing. And this one is just a really small, it's like the size of my hand. It's a little bit deep. It is just holding all of my floss alone. Just the floss by itself for my project, which is just, like, even just having to have these two things is just so much better for me than trying to keep everything in a bag. First acquisitions I'm going to talk to you about are, you have seen these before, but I got these really cute fabrics from Spoonflower a while back, and I wanted to make project bags out of them, but I needed lining fabric. So I went to Joann's and checked out their fabric sale that they were currently having, and I picked out some contrast lining fabrics for these. So all of the main fabrics have already been washed. That's why they're going to look a little bit wrinkly. But the lining fabrics haven't been washed yet, which is why I haven't made bags yet. But I think I'm going to just do this style of bag and call it good. Let me show you what I got here. So the first combo I got is, I got this really cute, like, Scandi mid-century style coffee and pastries fabric from Spoonflower. And I got this fat quarter from Joann's. This is just a cotton, 100% cotton fat quarter in a contrasting. I just thought these little flowers were so cute. I thought they kind of went with this design. The yellow is the same, the white, and just, I thought it was so cute with it. So this is going to be a bag. I might actually pick one of these to make like a bigger bag. I might make the same style, but do it like wider, just so that I have like a shawl sized bag. I haven't decided which one yet, but one of these may be that. The next one is the Strawberry Thief, which is a William Morris pattern in this really beautiful large scale. I love it. And for this, I don't know. I have two more fabrics, but I'm not sure which is going with which. So these are the other two fabrics I got. I got this green thinking that it would be a good contrast color for anything, and it would be cute with this. I think though, what I'm actually leaning more towards is I bought this tangerine. I bought all that was left of this color because this is one of my absolute favorite colors, this deep like reddy orange. And I think this would be really nice with this. Yes, that's definitely it. So I will be doing this. But also, my last fabric could go with either of these. Let me know what you think below, because my last fabric is a Halloween one, and this is a Headless Horseman themed fabric. So cute. And I thought it would be really cute with, I got this reddish orange, this tangerine color, is almost exactly the same color as the orange in this fabric. So a matchy-matchy vibe could be cute. Or I thought that this green would also be a fun like pop of color with this one, which I still think either of them would be very good. Let me know which one you prefer. Do you think the pop of green, because it would just be the lining, it would just be inside. Do you think the pop of green would be better, or the tangerine? Let me know your thoughts below. Let's vote. Decide what kind of project bag I'm gonna make. Also, let me know which of those you think I should make a big bag out of. I feel like this one is probably most suitable for a big bag. It just seems like a big bag pattern, you know? I don't know. So those 3 fabrics are an acquisition. Also, I got some yarn. I went to the Moon and Yarn craft room grand opening with Bree, lovely Bree, Brienne of Moon and Yarn. Has her own storefront, which is so exciting, so great. Bree, congratulations. And I bought a couple of things there. I was trying to be good, but you know, I still had to go support. And I got this gorgeous stitch marker from North River Knits. It is a pressed flower resin stitch marker. And it's just so cute. Well, it's a progress keeper, even better. And it's so cute. I'm excited to be able to use it. Ooh. Now that I have shown you on the podcast, I can take it off and actually use it on something. But it's so cute. She also had one that looked like a fern, or looked like a fern. It was a fern. These are real plants inside of them. And I was really tempted by the fern one too, but I don't know, something about the little flower just spoke to me. So if I happen to go back and the fern one happens to still be there, maybe I'll get it next time. But I mean, I will be back. I just don't know when. But yeah, so that is one thing I got. And the other thing I got is a sock set. I got a 50-gram sock set. It's 2 50-gram skeins of fingering weight yarn in an 80-20 blend, which seems to be a blend I'm really favoring right now. Each 50-gram skein is 200 yards. And this colorway is called Nanny's Fave, and it is from Macy of Mace Skeins. And this is the color. Isn't it gorgeous? Oh my gosh. So I have this pattern in my Ravelry library from Dana Ray Makes, and it is a half fisherman's rib 2-color sock, and I think I might do this with that pattern. Her pattern was written for a like Mandy's Making share a pair kind of deal, so this would be perfect for that. I think that would be a lot of fun. So that might be the plan for this. And it might be soon, like for summer sock camp. So that's the other thing I got from Bree's grand opening celebration last Saturday. The only other yarn acquisition I got was I need to order June before I forget. Dang, I almost forgot to order my K-Drama Club for June. I can't miss my K-Drama Club. Apple Pay. Is that what I want to do? Hold please. Today's the last day. Okay, done. Now, back to what I was talking about. I got the May K-Drama Yarn Club from Bumblebee Acres Farm. You should have, if you order this club, I know it's pretty niche, but if you order this club and you don't want spoilers, you should hopefully have it by now. We are into June now. I've had mine for a while, but this is it. So look away, I guess, if you don't want to see it. So this is the Coquette sock base, which is a 75% superwash Corriedale and a 25% nylon. May 2023 K-Drama Yarn Club. K-Drama is her private life. And this is what it looks like. These K-Drama yarns have been heavy on the pink, and I have been here for it. This has got this really pretty, like, light, like, beigey peach color. It's really interesting. It's more pink and less beige in real life than it's looking on camera to me right now. But it's also got this really bright, like, royal blue, which is a lot of fun. And this one I think is probably gonna micro stripe a bit because of the way it's dyed up. So that will be a lot of fun. And that is my other yarn acquisition. The only other acquisition I want to show you, yes, the only other acquisition I want to show you is from my work. We got this cross stitch and beading frame in. And I knew it was mine when I first saw it. I said, that is for me. So this is what it looks like. It's a cross stitch and beading frame needle worker from Dubco. And nice, simple, convenient is what it says. It is a hardwood frame that is carved and adjustable. Not sure what the sizes mean, but anyways. And this thing is wild. It is, if I unfold the box, I can show you what the whole thing actually looks like. But it looks like this. It's got these hinged legs on it and this piece here that you attach your work to, and it swivels and adjusts so that you can just have your work sitting over your lap but not on your lap, and you can have both hands free to do a, I don't know what it's called, but it's when you have one hand on the back of your work and one hand on the front of your work and you move the needle back and forth. I love being able to do that, and that's why I wanted this frame. So this has become the new home of Death by Cross Stitch. Instead of just sitting loose, she is now on this frame and ready for whenever I want to work on her. Because if you, I don't remember the last time I showed it on here because I don't work on it very often. But when I do, I get through like, I get like a burst of energy for it, and then I work on it for a little while and then I put it away again. But it is an ongoing project, an ongoing cross stitch that is large and all one color. It's designed to be like a black work cross stitch. I'm using brown, so it's a brown work cross stitch. But anyways, it's looking so good. Perfect, made for the frame. I'm going to have to figure out a way to, I'll probably have to take a clip and roll up the extra loose fabric on the bottom because the whole thing doesn't fit on the frame. Very pleased with the decision to buy that. And I think that's it for acquisitions today. Any life updates? I've just been working, playing Tears of the Kingdom. I think I might go downstairs. What time is it? I might go downstairs and try to play a little bit of Tears of the Kingdom before I go to work, because I do have work today. It is, I don't know, it's almost 11 already. I have to be at work in an hour and a half. Maybe I shouldn't get into it. Yeah, I probably shouldn't. I'll just knit or cross stitch. All right, well, that's it. That's it from me today, I think. I don't have any like big life updates or anything to tell you about. I am just going to go exist for like an hour before I have to go to work. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for joining me again today. It's so great to sit and chat with y'all, as always, and I will see y'all next time.